Welcome, everyone, to the Tethys Shipyards. I am Takeshi Yamato, the Art Master, joining our host, the Housecoat Gamer.
Yo.
Today, we're taking a look at another Terran starship, the ISS Sato.
Before we get into lore, I have to do this. I have to bitch. I have no choice. Cryptic. To anyone watching this, update the mirror skins. For Christ's sake, this is gaudy and dumb.
Yeah,
Update
gaudy.
update every ship with a mirror universe skin and update everything to Lexington class standards. Give everything a pod. And the lance. Just blanket give everything the lance. I don't care if it has to be tacked on. Just do it.
Yeah. We could probably,
I mean,
we might.
Christ, I could do better.
Yeah. I think the best thing we could do here is maybe just move to Yorktown Mirror.
Yeah, you've got a point there. That said, this will be represented by an Odyssey, which should have all these markings.
Yes, it should. This is just our closest representative right now. But yes, Cryptic, we need an Odyssey model with Terran markings.
Do it for all of them, including the Verity, the Sojourner, the Endeavor.
Yeah.
Just blanket redo that skin.
Yeah, just blanket redo all of them. Give them red nacelle caps. Like either the Audi or the Yorktown or the Lexington. And give an option with Terran markings, like this.
Rant over, going into the lore.
Yes, going into the lore. And going into a bit of personal lore here, because first up some game lore, then a little bit of first some game lore, then my personal lore. Meta lore here. The ISS Sato was one of several different ships that appeared, one of several different Terran boss flagships that could appear in the Mirror Incursion event, the second version of it, when defending Vothel Station, the Riemann Station. So there were a bunch of different ships that would show up, that could show up as the final boss of that STF. Some of them were Galaxy X dreadnoughts, some of them were Audis. The Sato was an Audi. And obviously it's named after Hoshi Sato, who became Empress at the end of the Enterprise two-parter. And I liked that lineage enough, and I liked the Audi design enough to appropriate it, shall we say, for the Terran counterpart of my main Trek character. Now, my main Trek character is Takeshi Yamato, but I'm doing a little bit more than that for converting it to Mirror. Instead of Mirror Takeshi, the Terran version of the character is Hitomi Yamato. Yes, I went Rule 63. Deal with it. Anyway. Hitomi was a cadet in the Terran Academy in the Terran Starfleet Academy on Earth in the 2360s. Late 2360s. Alongside fellow cadet Christina Park, who they met at the academy and fell in love. And, well, during that time, the Terran Empire was struggling, shall we say. Most people thought it was completely destroyed by the Klingon-Cardassian alliance. It no, it was. It definitely seen a lot of. It was still around, but Terran forces had been pushed back to the Sol system, and were basically just holding the line, shall we speak, struggling to hold the line. Hitomi and Chris saw the writing on the wall, and they decided they weren't going to stick around. So they left. So basically, they deserted, they stole a ship, and with some like minded individuals, they fled Terran space, and in unknown space, they established a remnant for themselves. However, they did find out about the other universe, and through maybe some historical records or encountering the Terran resistance over in the DS9 or over in the Bajor Terok Nor region, whatever. And they came up with something rather inventive. They took a satellite, a small comm beacon, gave it some special programming to turn it into a comm intercept beacon, and then used transporter technology to send it into the other universe. They didn't want to conquer or anything, but they felt that this other universe might hold stuff that they might find useful. Technology, basically. And so in 2387, they built the ISS Sato as opposed to the ISS Verity. As opposed to the USS Verity. Technically, the Verity was an Audi, but yeah.
This needs reworking.
Yeah. Anyway, the ISS Sato basically became the flagship of the Terran Imperial remnant. Sometime in the 24th century, sometime in the early 2400s, they started making scouts to see what the situation was, and somehow Wesley Crusher had managed to reforge the Terran Empire into something really nasty, but still about as corrupt as some of the as the years of Mirror Broken. And they decided they needed to do something about it. So they made contact with various minor individuals in the Terran Empire, including Lita, whether she was Captain Lita or Admiral Lita or whatever at the time. And in addition to this, they supported her. They supported her during the Seeker conflict alongside Marshal Janeway, Admiral Diarche Claudia, and the Terran Inquisitor, who was actually one of their scouts, their daughter. One of their two daughters, Tatsuki. Their other daughter, Sophia, was basically the commander of their fleets. After the conclusion of the Seeker conflict, Hitomi and Lita decided to share the throne for at least a time. As to what the precise division of responsibilities were and authority was, I'm not quite sure at this time. But Tatsuki is still. Tatsuki has gone from being the Inquisitor to being the Imperial Hand, basically their direct enforcer, Hitomi's direct enforcer, and Sophia is is a second Grand Marshal. Secretly, Hitomi, Chris, Sophia, Tatsuki, Janeway, Sophia and Tatsuki, and maybe Janeway all want to put Ron on the throne in some way because alongside Hitomi because F Lita.
The Terran. The throne must remain Terran.
Yeah. Of course, Ronald Pinkerton does not want the throne.
It's
But
too
they'll
much
find
work.
Yeah, but they'll find a way. They'll find a way.
Regardless, she's basically just an oddie. Same stats, same everything. Agonizer tech.
Yep. So, but the only, it's going to be a more conventional Audi than the Rockeye Loom, but it's going to be a bit different. So we don't have adaptive subspace field, we don't have liberated Borg starship. But we have the same systems values. Comms 10, computers 11, engines 10, sensors 10, structure 11, weapons 12. Like the ISS Rockeye Loom, the ISS Sato has the flagship mission profile. Command 4, Con 1, Security 4, Engineering 3, Science 2, Medicine 1. Scale 7, Resistance 7, Power 15, and Shields 20. That will go into the talents, which we'll get into in just a bit. Weapons are phaser arrays, quantum torpedoes, and a strength 6 tractor beam. For talents, we have advanced shields, command ship, redundant systems engines, saucer separation, secondary reactors, and the last two are stating out of alphabetical order, but we're saving them for last because this is sort of the importance of this aspect of the Sato compared to the Rockeye Loom. Diplomatic suites and deluxe galley. The Empress, her retinue, and any visiting dignitaries, and the Grand Marshal must have the heights of luxury available whenever they are on board this ship. Deluxe galley has similar purpose. Not only must they have the heights of luxury in their living quarters, but also in the quality of the food they eat. And for traits, Terran Imperial starship, Empress's flagship. And of course, additional propulsion system, quantum slipstream burst drive, agony phasers, and Aquarius escort.
We will be continuing our series on Terran heroes, though I suppose villains might be a proper title.
Yes. Or possibly champions.
That'll do. Anyway, bye-bye.